What's going on, Hey Unc fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Hey Unc Podcast. Podcast where we dive deep into real conversations with your favorite uncles. No fluff, just straight talk about navigating this crazy thing called life. And let me tell you, today's episode is going to be a real. As always, I'm your host, Uncle Shannon, joined by my man, Uncle Mark.
Hey.
And Uncle Stewart.
What's up?
And our guest this week is Dr. Angelo Moore, who is the Executive Director at the Center of Excellence for Integrative Health, Disparities, and Equity Research at the North Carolina A&T State University. Hey, bro. We're talking about the best advice you ever got. You know, that piece of wisdom, that golden nugget that changed your game or flipped your whole perspective. Maybe it came from your uncle, your mentor, or that random dude at the bus stop. Whatever it was, we want to hear it. Then we're getting real about stress. As we talked about in the last episode, adulting ain't easy. And sometimes life throws you a curveball. So we're sharing our guilty pleasures that help us unwind and keep it moving and deal with stress. So grab your favorite beverage and strap in. It's time to expand your horizons and get some real life advice. Fellas.
What's up?
What's going on?
What's up?
So, Angelo, we're excited to have you here, man. It's always good to see you, brother. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be
Welcome,
here.
brother.
So, I'm going to get right into this, but we got to give you all some background on Angelo and our relationship with him. But we always ask our guests the first question, what kind of uncle are you?
I'm an uncle that I kind of sit back and I give you advice and guidance when I think you need it, but when you're ready to accept it.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
When they're ready to hear what you have to say.
Excellent. Yep.
Got you. So, a little background for the audience. We all go back 30, 40 years, right? So me and Mark, when we were in high school, as you all know, we hung out. Our other best friend that completed our trio, whose name is whose name is Lee.
Lee, yes.
Antoinette, got to get it right, was just as tight. It was the three of us, the three amigos. Well, when she went to college at Winston State, she met Angelo, and there goes history. But as part of that journey, we had an adventure. Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah.
An adventure with
getting to know you.
getting to know all about you.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So back in the day, and I'm going to turn it over to Angelo and let him tell his version of the story, because you all know how we get to it. So, Angelo, take it away.
Well, we call ourselves, we was all college students going to have some fun. So we went to Six Flags in Atlanta. Ann and I was with Lee Antoinette, we're going to call her Ann for now. We had been together probably the longest.
Mm-hmm.
We had already been dating for a while. We was engaged, I believe.
You were.
Yep.
And we were just really having fun. I do remember that it rained on us.
Yeah.
I remember us running through the parking lot, trying to get out of there. And we also went to go eat some dinner. So we went to this restaurant I won't name.
Terrible.
It was quite a experience. People, they knew us there, but it was a great experience. We often talk about that at this moment. That was like the time where we went on a trip as a group, all of us, and we really developed our relationships and we had that bonding. And we always talk about how that experience really catapulted our relationships with each other.
Absolutely. Now, there's a couple of key pieces of information that Angelo left out of this.
A lot of that.
Number one, my boy with his currently loving wife, so it all worked out. They was creeping like hell.
Oh, no.
They had no business, but yeah.
Don't say it out loud.
I'm not supposed to tell that. Oh, well.
It's all good.
And just so he don't feel bad, your boy was creeping too.
That's right.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He was creeping and he
Me
wasn't
and my
driving
current
nowhere.
wife,
You wouldn't
and
drive?
I didn't drive. She drove the whole way.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's his story. He's sticking
And
to it.
that was the first and last time she has driven
Right.
when they went anywhere together. But I digress.
Even to the store. She don't do that.
Right. And she ain't drove nowhere even then, but that's okay.
That was with the Best Buy guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She had a significant other at the time. And
Ooh.
he made the mistake of leaving her around me.
What's that? Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
No, because
Back
we
then?
got to get to that part, though. That's part of this whole
okay.
deal, though.
Well, you tell your version.
My version is, and it's so ironic because it was just the four of us and our significant others, which we all married them. I don't think that's been expressed, but we all married those same women. We met at the first exit in Georgia. I do specifically remember.
Yes,
that.
sir.
Didn't have cell phones back then.
No, sir.
No,
None
we
whatsoever.
had to navigate a different way.
We did.
That's right.
You know, you guys were already there, and I was the last to show up, like always. So my wife and I, well, not at the time, wife, but my girl, my friend.
That's right.
My friend and I, we show up and, you know, we meet. And as a matter of fact, that was the first meeting, first time they all met her. And I was actually the first time I met Gina. I had never
Oh,
met
I
Gina
didn't even
before.
realize that.
Yeah, I had never met her before. So that was my first meeting. I knew it. First time I met you, because I knew Ann, and I met Tammy,
Yeah.
but I never met Gina, never met you.
Right.
So that was my first meeting with the collective. My most vivid memory is my sister's frat brothers was on the scene. They were on the scene at Six Flags.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. And so we had to
Some people had to walk a little faster than normal.
sort of, now, hold on, I'm not saying this out of fear
Or no doubt.
of the frat brother, you know, or significant others of frat brothers.
Well, we're going to say we was respecting
They were
something.
They are. I'm assuming they are alphas. So too much.
Sigmas.
That too. No disrespect, man. I got good friends on both, but no, I had no fear then. We was just trying to, you know, keep our business our business. So we were sort of ducking and dodging and moving faster at times than we should have, just to keep the peace. That was hilarious. I do specifically and vividly remember that part.
And that happened to me and Gina multiple times. We went to a WNBA game when the Sting was still here in Charlotte.
Okay.
And we rolling through the parking lot. Here come all his frat brothers. I'm like,
Wow.
Wow.
Why? Why are y'all here?
Man, I hope he watched this
No,
podcast.
I know, right? See you wrong.
I hope he watched this podcast. Well, that would be hilarious.
So what's your
So,
recollection?
first of all, before I even get going, everybody take a good look at these fine, wise men right here. Look at them. They crazy. All right.
He jealous.
Anyway,
Jealousy.
so for me, it's
I didn't
the...
like the
Because
fine.
his
Oh,
beard
my bad. Not the five part. These
From a man,
old...
coming from
old
another dude,
men.
that was...
All right, my bad.
His
Okay.
beard can't connect, and he brings jealousy.
My beard does
So you
connect.
keep
I
it
don't
short.
want all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yes. Nevertheless,
And it
for
won't
me,
grow.
it's the weirdest thing, y'all. We may have had it, but I just remember us buying Tanqueray and thinking that was the best thing since sliced bread.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Back
After
then,
drinking what we was drinking,
Tanqueray
Seagrams, we thought that was disgusting.
made you
in
a
there.
performer. I don't mean a singer.
That's right.
I don't mean a singer.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. My
Yes,
daughter's
because
watching this. What are y'all doing?
went when we got to Atlanta and to find out how cheap it was compared to what we just thought that was the best thing. So that part and that disgusting restaurant where we didn't pay. Yeah. Anyway, your wife now went off. So I thought that was right.
advocating
That's right. She was
for us
very professional at that too.
because we
off.
received subpar service.
Well, she's always had that
She
gift
has.
of being able to cuss you out, but
And-
you think it's the nicest
Exactly.
thing you
Yeah.
ever heard.
Yeah.
You know, she get that from her mother.
Yes.
Yes, she does.
Yes. Mabel has cussed me out before. I didn't know I
So
got
Plain
cussed.
language. Plain language.
cussed
Slow.
you out.
And you be like, what just happened?
Yeah,
She got you too?
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Stuart, your mother does that too.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So
I know.
I
She-
have not
she-
had that reaction.
Oh, she liked to do it early in the morning. Yeah. Yeah.
So she got to get you right before
And
you go out the
and
door.
she always ended it with the most colorful word.
You know,
NIGG. You can finish the rest.
and, you know,
Yeah.
speaking of Ann, she was that kind of person, you know, like when we used to do our stuff, if we were bringing stuff by her, she's like, so that mean if you're talking to me, you probably don't need to be doing what you're doing, right? That kind
She
of
was our
stuff.
conscience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was
Is
All right.
That did used to be kind of our standard.
Yeah.
Because we knew if either one of us said, "Listen, don't tell Ann that we was doing
Yeah,
something dirty,"
correct.
yeah, we knew we was wrong.
All right, that was the Ann moment.
Yeah.
You have fun with us now.
But hey, so as we get into the conversation, right? One of the things we've all had these various experiences. We've met people. Angelo, in your Army career, you traveled all over the world, meeting all kinds of different people. So when you think about things you've picked up along the way, what is some of the best advice that you've received? And whether it's life advice, career advice, or just that moment in time it made you think differently about something. What's a piece of advice?
Yeah, I've got a lot of advice, but the one thing that I would say is someone told me it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't know how to manage money, you'll always be broke. So I've always taken that as advice to learn how money works and make better decisions.
And there goes that decision thing again. We've talked about that multiple times, and the importance of those decisions that you make. Kind of map out what your options are going to be going forward.
Absolutely.
You know, so Mark, as you think about some of the best advice you've received, what comes to mind?
So for me, right before marriage, some of the best advice I received was don't allow single people to tell you how to manage your marriage, because they absolutely can't relate to anything.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Yes, sir.
Okay. And Stu?
I guess because it served me so well over the course of my life. My mom always told me, son, your name is all you got. Mm-hmm. So what she was telling me is make sure you handle your business by paying your bills and being responsible to be able to go out and make purchases at some point in the future. Whether it was, getting approved for an apartment or buying a car or buying a house, because the first time I ever bought a car, I wasn't expecting to buy one. I didn't have any money, but my name was good. Mm-hmm. So I was able to walk into a dealership and make a purchase without a down payment, and I walked out with keys to a brand new car. So that basically legitimized in my mind what she meant when she told me your name is important.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for me, I think back, and it wasn't necessarily life advice, but it was a wow moment for me. And I was with my granddad. I've talked about Hoss on here before. And he had given a guy some money, homeless guy that used to work for him, whatever. Alcoholic, clearly, drug addict, all of that. I said, Hoss, why are you giving money? You know he's just going to go snort it up or drink it up. He was like, you are not kind to people to help them. It's to help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's about how you feel and how you want to be as a human being. Right? And that really was an eye-opening moment for me, because it carries over to everything else. It doesn't matter what other people do. It matters what you do and how you present to the world. So that was really a wow moment for me. So what's some of the other things that you picked up along the way that have kind of helped you or guided you or got you through situations?
I would say it's always good to have wise people around you. In the statement that I hear people say is make sure you look at the fruit of the tree. So it's very difficult for somebody to tell you how to do something that they've never done. So look at the fruit of the tree. Don't get advice from everybody.
Right. Yeah. Your pothead friend is not wise.
Absolutely.
Just because he can string some words together while he high.
Yeah, I was going to say now, while he's high, you got to really give him some credence while he's high.
It comes from that subconscious
Oh, yeah,
space.
It doesn't always translate, though.
It dwells alongside of that Holy Spirit. It's not the Holy Spirit. I'm not saying that. But this is somewhere along in that realm where you got one side and then you got the other. So
And that's what gets you messed
they draw
up.
from the other side.
Because every once in a while, they will say something. No, do not listen to
That's
your
the
body.
best thing since sliced bread.
When they say, damn, that boy good. He's smart.
That's right.
He's smart.
Who knows? Your boy might be looking at the dishwasher, wondering why it's making music. You don't know what's going on in his mind.
We got to go there. All right. Okay. It's another episode for another
People have
time.
different experiences with
That's
things.
right. They'll never experience it again.
So you say.
Like a piece of advice. If you are on the grill and you finish cooking, make sure the coals are cold before you turn it over.
Yeah.
Because it might start a fire.
That's right.
Right, Mark?
That's exactly right, Angelo. Great
Yeah.
Do
advice.
not dump hot
right.
coals
That's right.
in the weeds.
That's right.
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing at all.
I think y'all just stole my question. That was it.
What was your question?
Do you dump hot coals in the weeds?
Yeah. So the answer to that is no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Because if
Easy
you
enough.
do, the fire department will come.
They
Let
will.
Mark tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Fire department is going to come, I guess. I mean, I would imagine so. 'Cause,
guess.
Weeds, especially if it's dry weeds, they're going to eventually.
middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Again, the wise men here, I tell you, they got it all for you, don't they? Hate y'all.
We looking to you for the answer.
Yeah, I know. You're looking for me to answer. Oh, my
You seem to
gosh.
have a lot of experience in that.
I don't have a lot of experience in that. I have a experience in that, not
It's
a
more
lot.
than what we have.
Absolutely not. You all were there, so you experienced it as well.
We did not participate. that's the key to that story.
There was no lives lost. There was no nothing. What it did was it just made the ground get a little, that grass was amazing after all that took
because
place.
it got that fertilizer.
It got all that fertilizer in there. So that's what I was there for at that time, y'all. All right, moving on. All right.
All right. We're gonna leave you alone.
That was a little moment, all right? Trying to get things done. We had a Uno game to get to, and I was trying to do
You
some
had
right
other things on your
Yeah.
mind. You trying to chase behind Tammy, and I get it.
No.
I get it.
It was either spades or Uno, something we was trying to do. Anyway, all right.
All right. So, as we go through lives and you have relationships and building relationships with people, how do you approach who you listen to and who you're willing to take advice from? You touched on it a little bit with making sure they actually live by that advice. But how do you filter out the noise?
Well, I think for me is consistency, and not necessarily what they say, but what they're actually doing. Because a person's action is going to tell you a whole lot more than what they ever say.
Yeah.
So I always watch people, what they're doing, because sometimes they may say something that doesn't line up with what they're doing. So for me, it lacks credibility.
Yeah. And where I see that the most is all of these people on Instagram with these get rich quick schemes, and I can show you how to start investing in commercial property and you'll make $1 million a month.
Right.
Well, if you were making $1 million
$1
a
a
month,
month.
you wouldn't be on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Right? Probably not. So, but yeah, those people have zero credibility, and they may have done a deal at some point in their lives and made a little bit of money, and now they're going to turn it around and sell it to you, and now everybody's going to be rich. Well, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I do have a question though, because I don't want this to be left out? Because I know we mentioned that our brother Angelo is a doctor. Do we specify what type of doctor?
Angelo?
I am, by training, I'm a nurse, but I have my PhD in research. So I use the title doctor.
Okay. Well, you don't use it, you earned it.
You earned it.
I
Yes,
earned
right.
it.
Yeah.
And there's times where I'm in places where I go by my first name. Then there's places where I make people use my title.
What's the difference?
The difference is, you may be in a group of people, because I'm an African-American male, they want to minimize what I've done.
Okay.
So I make sure that they recognize the accomplishments that I've made. And so sometimes you have to show people how to treat you. When you don't use the title, I just want to call you Angelo. No, that means that we're just alike. No, we're not alike. Because I did something more than what you did. Not that I'm better than you.
Right.
But don't give somebody else a title and don't give me the title.
Gotcha.
And as minorities, we steadily fight that battle in academia, trying to make sure that people respect who we are and what we've done and what we've accomplished.
Do you find that to be something you dealt with more in the military versus now?
Now, not in the military. The military, everybody used the titles.
Okay.
But on the outside, you have people that want to minimize. They want to use first names because if we haven't accomplished the same thing, if we go by first names, we equal.
Gotcha.
And there are also times where I would say, just call me Angelo. No, when it's my people that say, no, I'm going to call you by your title because I'm proud of what you've
Right.
accomplished.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to ever minimize yourself.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you will see that definitely in corporate America too.
Absolutely.
When you go into these leadership meetings and things like that, there are times when people try and get real familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you find that through your career, right? You've been in management and leadership roles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been dismissed as the person in charge a lot of times because I don't want my associates that I outrank. I'm gonna say it that way, just based on the hierarchy or the setup of said business. If they don't look like me, then if there's an issue, that people are automatically drawn to the person that don't look like me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you're not qualified to be in that
Right.
position.
Yeah. Or he don't look like he can handle my situation.
Right.
And then when it turns out that you have to deal with me, for me, I don't do it any different. I'm going to be consistent in what I do. Mm-hmm. But at least I know that I'm representing a culture at that point, and so I have to present well, articulate, to make sure that they know that I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I can effectively convey this message.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely dealt with that as well. So exactly the same way. You got to make sure they know. Well, for me personally, my position needed to make sure that that person of other Caucasians. Sorry if I say it that way.
Hey, it's what it
wanted
is.
to, make me lesser than what I was, and you have to remind them. And it's nice when you had good people on your side who was that way and would refer to me. You need to talk to him first.
Yeah.
So.
And I remember an episode exactly like that when I worked for a large beer company. I won't say their name because they're not paying us. But so I was the project lead putting in a new brew house control system. We go to the plant for the first time, go to the brewery for the first time. One of the brewmasters comes in and introduces herself to the two guys that were working for me and didn't introduce herself to me. And I'm running the project. And I could have flew off the handle and all of that. But in those situations, you do that. Sometimes the reaction is worse than the action, right? So, and the way I dealt with it, I just stood up and started talking and ignored her completely. right? Until she figured out who the HNIC was.
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Which was me. So, yeah, deal with that a lot throughout my career. But, okay, it's that time in the podcast where we switch over to Stu's question of the week. What you got for us, bro?
If you guys are so brave enough to admit, and I'm not saying this to be diminishing by no stretch of the imagination, but to be realistic, we all have this thought, whether it's right or wrong, but can you recall the one that got away? In your best estimation, I mean, and again,
Yes.
it's not to be diminishing by no stretch of the imagination, but I think everybody, men and women, can say that they've seen or experienced one or thought of one enough to say, that one got away.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Have I thought about it? Yes.
Yeah.
I'll let you expound. I mean,
I'm not going to call any name.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and I'll go all the way back. I had one of the top 3, I would say, finest women. I would expand it to Winston, but I'm just going to say at West Forsyth.
Okay.
that's fair.
You know who I'm talking
I do.
about?
Yes, sir.
So one of the top 3 finest at West Forsyth. Then I went into the Navy. She went to Wake Forest. We hooked up a couple of times, in between. But, yeah, that was the one that got away because I never got a hold of her like I wanted to.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Ain't nobody else going to step up. Come on now.
Well, I would say, I can't say that there was one that got away. I think at the time of my level of maturity, I thought that they got away. But as I
That's
got
fair.
older, I realized that I'm much more wiser. You can't just go on looks
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
because you can look great. You could be fine, but you could be tore up on the inside. And so I've learned over the years that, I'm with who I'm supposed to be with.
Yeah.
And I didn't lose anything. Because, when we're young, we're not focused on the right things.
Oh, and I absolutely was not. Yeah.
No,
For sure.
I mean, that's 100% valid, and I agree with it. But it's still one of those locker room conversations. I'm going to say,
Yeah.
Right.
It has no diminishing return in terms of you're not diminishing your current relationship by no stretch. Because to your point, that was in a phase or a period where we had no values,
Right.
to be honest. So I guess so. And to say what I'm going to say is I never even hooked up with the one I thought that got away because I was so busy chasing and she was so busy running. I don't know what the experience would have been like, but I just say it got away because I never had the opportunity.
Yep.
Never had the opportunity. So
Yeah. I can actually say for me, I think I ended up with the one right, but hold on. Your question was, let's do it the right way.
I was about to say.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm about to start
I
counting.
do have
Dang,
I
here
do
we
have
go.
a few that it's like, man. So it's funny. I actually reconnected with one recently.
what?
Just conversation, how you doing? Ain't seen them in a long time, so forth. And I tell you what, I'm glad it went left because there are a lot of problems, dude. A lot of problems, but to your point, going off of the looks and what I thought was gonna be it, it's like, oh my God, they ended up crazy. So.
Oh, no doubt. We all married up. I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
no
right
question.
out the gate. And that's not to, again, I
And
can't
I get
stress
it.
enough. You ain't diminishing
You're
that.
not,
It's just
you're not,
some locker room conversation
Yeah.
because we say that. And it's just stuff we talk about
Right.
sometimes. It's not like we so stoic to where I'm married. And
That's
I
right.
can't have
That's
a
fair.
thought outside
That's
of
right.
marriage. That's not even realistic.
No.
So
not at
at our
all.
Six Flags days, we didn't know.
I ain't know. I mean, I wasn't, we was having fun.
Exactly.
And they're right.
We was having a whole lot. That's a whole lot of fun being had them days.
A lot of fun was being had.
Yeah, do y'all remember going back to that trip? Y'all remember going to a cookout at my aunt's house?
Yes, sir.
I don't remember that.
Y'all don't?
Yeah, we did.
Like the Sunday before?
Before the Sunday before
we left.
Before we left.
Yeah. She barbecued for us.
Yeah.
Man, that whole thing, that was
It was
a
a
blur.
blur.
Because now that you
Because
said it,
we
I gotta
did, remember, Angelo,
we did go somewhere.
we didn't eat. Remember, we was already complaining because we
yeah.
didn't eat. And yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Called Auntie up and she
hooked it up.
She hooked us up.
Them connections.
Just to know how good we had it.
That's right.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And we actually, first episode, we talked about trying to get Mark to go back.
Yeah.
This
Mark
time
didn't
we
do
was
the
trying
right
to
thing.
single life. Because we would have been single for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
The rest of our life.
Yeah, because you would have been the only one married, Angelo.
Yeah.
You'd have been the only one.
Yeah,
if we
you
had
were
took
married
that
at the
trip.
time.
Not that time.
not the time.
But
It was
yeah,
engaged.
you were
He
married
was
when we
married.
was getting ready.
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah. We always
Yes.
get
Well,
married.
we could have never seen you again because then we had to deal with Ann.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we wouldn't have seen
Yeah,
it.
we weren't going to bring
I
you on
didn't
that
need
one.
that.
Thank you for looking out for me, brothers. Hey, but the we always go back to that photo we took.
Yes.
We got back.
Yeah.
It's like it's a staple in my mind. All of us got back. We laugh at it. I laugh at it now because I look at what we was wearing, hairstyles.
Oh, yes.
We recreated that photo.
Yes.
A few years later.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that photo, when Tam and I used to do like couple stuff with people and they were thinking about getting married, I would always bring that photo out because I would always express to them how important it was to have solid friends around you. And I would show them what we were and how we were and the fact that we were all still together to this day. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was pretty powerful, yeah.
Yeah.
In that picture.
And you showed them us?
I did.
Your friends?
I did. But
Interesting.
when you put it that way, what was I thinking,
I
right?
don't know, bro.
That was
We was trying to take you down the opposite way.
Right.
well, they got the point and they loved it. So
But that just shows you that we all go through things in life.
right, yeah,
Life happens.
yeah,
Absolutely.
But having those bonds and being there for each other is what get us through.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as we think about that, right, and those tough times in life and getting through, I did want us to talk a little bit about we all have different stressors in life, right? It could be your job, it could be your family, it could be your mom, whatever it is. But you have to have ways of managing through that stress. Because if not, stress will kill you.
Yes.
As sure as a gunshot or a heart attack, stress will kill you. So to take a little bit of a spin on it, instead of just talking about different ways, what are those guilty pleasures that you have that help you de-stress? And, I'm taking porn off the table right now because my baby gonna listen to this, and we don't do that. So
I'm glad you
Take it
took
off
you
the
off the
table.
table. That's
off the
right.
table.
It's off the table.
that's off the table. So, but what are those things that kind of mechanisms that you use, those guilty pleasures to help you de-stress?
So for me, it's that golf course. Gotta have it. And
How does that de-stress?
it just does, man? It's the best
I'd be
feeling.
mad as hell.
I understand, but it's the best feeling in the world. I'm with my boy. I ain't thinking about nothing but that daggone ball. All the other stuff is out the door. And when I can't do that, I found the gym is really, really working for me in terms of that daggone elliptical. It kicks my butt, but I tell you what, it's just something for me to do. I just zone out.
Okay.
Man, I called my boy down in Atlanta and have him send me this big old bag of weed.
Big old bag of
in
weed.
the mail.
They don't come in big bags no more.
Yes, they do. When you got a weed farm. But anyway, it's really just being able to ISO with the boys, having a drink, cigar, and just unwinding, man. Because to your point, it's work, it's family, and sometimes you just don't want any of your titles. Right. You don't want
Yeah.
husband, you don't want father, you don't You just don't want any of them. So you just want to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way that you can let all that go in those few moments is just not to be. Just be you, be in the moment, have whatever conversations you guys are going to have. They're not all the same. They can be political. They can be, about relationships. It can be about, sexual. They can go in any direction. And the beauty of it is it just stay right there.
Stay right there. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that is brilliant because I think it makes all that little stuff that's built up all week. It acts as that pressure valve.
yeah.
And just let that pressure out.
Yes, so for me, how I control my stress is I exercise, specifically running. So I normally get up early in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I run in my neighborhood. It's just me, the deer, rabbits, a couple of people walking their dogs. The more stress I have, the longer I run. But
Kinda burn
it
it
clears
off.
my mind. It's just, and it's a. We talk about guilty pleasures, but it's actually a positive because it helps me maintain my health at the same time. But you have to be careful because you can overdo it.
Yeah.
But that's my way of getting away because everybody sleep pretty much. It's just me and nature.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. And for me, I'm definitely going to go in a different direction because y'all exercising and being healthy and all that.
Well,
For
that's
me-
not what I said.
I know. I get it. I got to get in the kitchen. Cooking for me does it. It's the routine of it. It's the, you got to do things in certain order. You can experiment. You can play around. Getting in the kitchen and cooking for me. Same with you and running. I block out the whole world. Gina and I be in the house. They trying to have a whole conversation with me. I ain't heard nothing.
Right.
Because I'm in my zone. I get in there, and it doesn't matter what I'm cooking. I can be boiling an egg. It doesn't matter. But there's steps to doing that, and that order makes sense to me.
Right.
And it calms my brain down. And I would say the other thing, and I don't know that people look at it this way because they feel like driving is a chore, but just getting in the car
I like that too.
and rolling, man, you could block out everything. And I don't care if you listen to music, don't listen to music, whatever. But getting in that car and just get on the road. It helps a lot with blocking out all that noise.
Until Atlanta would have did that for you, bro. I'm just saying.
Nah.
You know what? That statement that I keep referring to is irritating to certain populists, so I'm gonna quit saying it.
But what we talked about actually is safe ways of reducing stress. Because there are unsafe ways what people do to reduce stress. Well, they think it reduces stress, actually adds more stress to them.
So there's examples.
Some people go to, they drink more, which leads to other things, So everybody has stress. There's different levels of stress. The important thing is to be able to control your stress in a positive way of finding ways to decrease that stress because stress will kill you.
Yeah.
It wears down your body over the years, And we're all in relationships. And I wonder if we know what our wives, when we know they're stressed out, what do they do?
Yeah, I can tell you mine with Gina, when she is stressed out, she doesn't want to talk to anybody. She just wants to shut down. And she'll crawl up in that corner of the couch and won't move. And that's how she deals with it.
Tammy used to crochet and read. Yeah. Crochet and read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get that.
And sews. She get in that room and she just sew. It'd be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
With all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, you have to find a way. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's interesting because I think my wife sleeps.
That's a way of
Yeah,
shutting
because
down.
she'll go to the room, shut it down. No lights, no TV, nothing. And she'll lay there, she'll deal with whatever she can deal with mentally until she can't no more, and then she sleep.
Now, see, that for me, my mind would be so all over the place.
Racing.
It'd be like staring into the abyss.
Yeah,
I
I understand.
all kind of dark
That
thoughts.
that happens to me when my sleep is broken. If I break sleep and then thoughts enter, I can't get that back.
Yeah.
But before, I can do that mental gymnastics enough to make myself go to sleep because I'm just tired of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But if I break sleep and do it, it's a wrap. I am just up.
Yeah.
Can't get that back.
But I think it's great that we know when our significant other is stressed out. Because if you don't know how to help the person
Yeah.
or how to evaluate
I still
yourself
don't
to see
know.
if
Yeah.
you're contributing to that stress.
Yeah, I still don't know.
You know, and I heard a TED talk, and a lady was talking about this, and the way her and her husband handle it is they communicate in percentages. So she gave the example. She'll come home and there'll be some situation that they need to deal with, and she'll be like, "Look, I got 40% left in the tank.
Right, yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
So hopefully you got the 60
got another
to
60,
pick it
yeah.
up, right? And that's how they communicate. So they found a way to tell each other, you know, when I need you to pick up the
Right.
slack instead of you trying to figure out if something's wrong.
That's a good
and you
idea.
Jump into it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, because it does get rid of that wandering. Well, where you at on this? Because usually you got more, but you know sometimes you just don't have it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and sometimes this just might not be the day to talk about it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Can
can
we-
leave things for another day.
Can we push this off until tomorrow? Because I just don't have capacity today.
Yeah.
And you have to respect that.
Yeah.
One of the problems we try to push somebody to talk about something when they're not ready to talk about
But
it.
then it's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
Because then you say something that you regret.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That took me a long time to figure out. You know, I'd be pushing. I used to be like, man, can we? Because I don't like to let stuff linger.
Right.
That drives me nuts. But once I figured out, you know, I got to just be prepared for a day or two to have the same conversation again. You know, once I figured that out, everything was cool. So it just takes a long time to figure out sometimes for people.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know, sort of trying to transition, and when you talk about the stress and so forth, Angela, can you kind of like talk about Black men, like the importance of going to the doctor, you know, for us, because I think that's something that we rarely do. You know, I don't know what our phobia is, but we do. You know?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a phobia. It's social expectations.
Okay.
So, give you an example. You have a 5-year-old little girl riding a bike. She falls off. What happens? Everybody go to her. She's crying.
Yeah.
Little scar. She acts like she's going to bleed to death, but we coddle her, right? You get a 5-year-old boy that's riding a bike. What happens?
Get up.
He falls off. Get up, suck it up, don't cry.
Yeah.
So you hold everything in. So this is a behavior that we've been taught all these years to be strong, don't show weakness. And for a lot of men, going to get health care is going for help. But if I back it up a little bit, we take males and females, they're very different. Females, when they're 18, 19, they become sexually active. They start having their woman exams. They get pregnant. They get pregnant, right? They go into the OB doctor. They deliver their baby. They take the baby to the pediatrician. They take the kids to for their appointments, and it kind of starts over. So they have years of experience in the healthcare system. You take men. Unless you're in sports, after you're 21, there's no one tell you need to go and see anybody. So they don't have that experience with the healthcare system. So you got the pride and not feeling weak, and now you got to go to this system that is really foreign to you. It's hard because I'm going for help. And so for men, I tell men we have to take care of our bodies so we don't leave our family in distress, because a lot of times you have to drag us there.
Yeah.
But when you being drugged there, you have problems that's been going on for a long time, and so it's much harder to get you to where you need to be. So this is years on top of years on top of years of being this way. So there's some men that won't even go to a doctor's appointment without a significant other.
Wow. Just because they don't
Just
know what
don't
to
do
expect.
But you also look at, I'm too busy. I got to work. Why would I take all this time off of work to go see somebody to tell me to show up 30 minutes early? I have to wait 30 minutes, and they only spend 5 minutes with me. And they tell me nothing new when I got there. So it's just a waste of my time. Why am I going to go there?
And I will admit, that's me. Why am I here?
Right.
I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. And I just spent an hour and a half, 2 hours of my life for you to tell me, yep, you're good. See you in a year.
But, it's good for somebody to tell you that you're okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they don't go because they're fearful somebody going to tell them that something is not okay. So then I have to face it. So I tell people, whether you go there or not, if something's going on with you, it's still going to be there. It's just going to get worse over time.
You got to face it at some point.
Absolutely. So we need to be more proactive in these behaviors. It's also, I tell people, we have our cars, we take them for oil change and tune-ups. Why can't we do our bodies that way?
Makes sense.
So what I hear too from that is, as men, particularly black men, we need to consider not just us. We need to consider those around us.
Absolutely.
Who we're impacting. So that's good stuff there.
Because I tell men, don't do it for you, do it for your wife, do it for your kids. Because don't you want them to be around? Don't you want to be around for them? And a lot of times that they'll make a decision to do something they really want to do because they think about somebody else, not themselves.
Yeah, back to your point. Our role is to take care of everybody, not
Absolutely.
necessarily to take care of ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, at this time in the podcast, we're going to turn it over to Uncle Mark. I know he has a Uncle Mark's philosophy that is near and dear to his heart today. So go ahead, Mark.
All right. Okay. So today is more of a, it is a philosophy, and it's more of a pet peeve for me. And it's for those out there, and we talked about it a little briefly here. It's called money management. Okay. In my job, I tend to talk to people who are having some issues from time to time, and they're questioning how we do business sometimes. They're making payments on things, and they don't understand why it's taking so long for the money to be pulled from their account sometimes. Well, part of the problem is, and their response to me is, well, it's your fault because you didn't take the money first. Okay, let's process what I just said. How stupid is that? And you can't spend money you don't have. And, you got bills to pay. If you make $1,000 and you got $1,200 worth of bills, then you don't have no money. So it's just about money management. It's like, when you go to work every day, you work 40 hours and you get a daggone check for 30 hours, what you gonna do? You want your money, right? Okay, that's all. That's just what I've been dealing with. And I'm just finding out there's quite a few people who don't seem to understand you can't spend what you don't have. Or you can't, that's it.
And the problems that causes you down the line.
Yes.
Right.
All kinds of fees and everything else and so forth.
Good. What your mama say?
I was gonna say, great talk, Russ.
I'm just saying, it's just terrible. We got to do better, people.
Yeah, and that's something that we really have to spend more time is to teach people how money works.
Yeah.
Credit, you need to have credit. How do you get credit? How do you maintain good credit? How to be responsible and accountable? How to invest. And that's one of the things that I think about is I wish that, I always say, hindsight is 20/20. But if I had learned very early on how money works, and I thought about my legacy at an early age, I would have made some different choices. But at that age, you just think about right now.
Yeah.
But being able to understand money, how it works, that's going to get you a long way in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, brothers, I appreciate y'all. Angelo, thanks for coming. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me here.
This has been a great conversation. Everybody, reach out to us online. Give us your thoughts. What's the best advice that you all have received? And tell me who you received it from, right? So please engage with us on Instagram at Hey Unc Podcast. Also, we're on Facebook and on YouTube as well at Hey Unc Podcast. Leave us your thoughts. Let us know what you think. If there are other topics or twists on the conversations you want to bring up, we'll be sure to engage with you on our social media platforms. So again, Angelo, thank you for coming. I'm just going to leave you with a parting question. I know you were a Ram coming up, WSSU.
Right,
but now you have crossed over to the Superior School and become an Aggie. How has the transition been?
Well, I learned to say Aggie pride.
Aggie pride?
But HBCUs, we all family.
That's right.
That's right. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, we all family.
I don't know. I don't feel that way. The way you frame some questions.
Where'd you go to school at?
JCSU.
That's right.
Johnson C. Smith.
Oh, Smith.
That's right.
TH.
They hate me on this.
All HBCU grads here.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love them Golden Bulls. Two of
Yes,
my
you
best
do.
friends are Golden. and on that note,
You gonna do a cut?
I'm going to do a cut. And on that note, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.